Are you awakened to the fact that we live in a hyper-consumerist society and never is that more present when you have a baby? Are you feeling overwhelmed by what to put on your baby registry? Those baby must-haves when you're like, really? Must I have those things? I've got you covered, girl, because as a third-time mom about to have my third baby, here are the things that I would put on my registry if I was starting again. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Julie. I'm an occupational therapist, a mom of two little ones with the third one on the way, and these are all the things that I am planning to have for my baby, either that I have already purchased or might need to purchase a couple of things, but really we're going for minimalist baby essentials to put on your registry. If this is something that is interesting and necessary for your life, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, click that notification bell, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the free resources in my description down below. I have a free 3-day mini course that will help get your life organized, start you on your decluttering journey. Make sure you download that and make sure you get your name on the Organized Mom waitlist. This is my signature course where I dive super deep into habits and schedules and routines that have really helped me as a mom of almost 3 children and a working mom. So make sure that you get your name on that list so that you know when we go live. All right, let's jump in. Let's stop wasting money, stop wasting energy, and really get to the things that I feel like you really need, and none of the things that you don't. Okay, so to make this a little bit easier, I've divided this up into the main categories that you consider when looking to shop for a future baby. So we're gonna start off with my favorite one, which is sleeping. Now, sleeping is a tough one, I'm not gonna lie. And I've definitely been there where you'll do absolutely anything to get your child to go to sleep. We even had blackout curtains put in their room, which in retrospect I think was a good idea, but I don't think it really made that much difference to their sleeping. But here's the things that I think you need when you are having a baby for the first time. And if you watched my previous video of things that I'm doing differently as a third-time mom, you will see that one of my tips was only buy things as you need them. So I'm not saying you need to go and buy a massive crib right now, because likely your baby is not going to sleep in a huge crib right in the beginning. I mean, you can, but usually, especially first-time moms, are going to have their baby in a bassinet next to them. So first thing you need is some kind of baby bed. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just needs to have a good quality mattress, I believe. So I think it's worthwhile to spend your money there on like an organic mattress that doesn't emit all the fumes and all this kind of stuff. Especially if you're going to have multiple children, this will be a great investment. You could probably, sell it if you needed to, if it's clean and everything, obviously. So I think it's a worthwhile investment because it is important that you get a mattress that is nice and firm for your child and all that good stuff. What I'm actually going to use, at least initially, is the bassinet from my upper baby. So we didn't really use that very much because you can only use it up until the baby's 3 or 4 months old. So I'm going to use that as my baby's primary bed, and then I have a stand for it that my friend lovingly gifted to me, which is so great. And then that's basically it as far as bed. And then it comes with like a little sheet, and I'll see if I need to get anything else. I don't know if I'm going to go buy special fancy things. That is not the plan right now. Then for sleeping, I recommend that you're going to swaddle your baby in some way. I used to have these Velcro swaddles, which I really liked, but I don't know if I have any more of them. I think I gave a lot of them away. So I'll see if I want to get that again, which, gets the baby in a little straitjacket. Otherwise, you can actually just swaddle them in like a blanket. They just don't always stay tucked in as much. But I think that's probably what I will do initially. I'm always of the framework that like I could get a swaddle on Amazon in like a day or two. It's not a big deal. So I'm kind of gonna see how it goes, but I really don't want to overbuy. Also for us, and this is probably not your situation, but we live in a fairly small apartment with not a lot of storage. I in fact don't even have a place to put a crib in our second bedroom where our kids sleep. We would have to get bunk beds or like sell furniture or something like that. So I'm really going minimal this time. Obviously you do not have to do that. So I'm not trying to buy anything that I don't absolutely need initially. and we're planning to move at some point when this baby is pretty small, so the more things we have to buy, the more things we have to move. So that is kind of where I'm coming from. Something else that I really like for sleeping is a sound machine. We have the DOMS sound machine, and we actually have two, and I'm not sure why, but we have a second one, so I'll probably put that in our bedroom where the baby is going to sleep, because we don't currently sleep with one, and then the big kids have one, because don't break what's not broken. I'm hoping it triggers something in their brain that this is now sleep time, but more than that, it drowns out the neighbors, so I'm sticking with it. We'll have two of those. Now, eating. So this is going to depend on whether you breastfeed or not. As a general guideline, babies start to eat solids around 5-6 months old, and even then you don't need anything fancy. So we're talking about that newborn stage where I am planning to breastfeed. That is what I've done for the other two kids. So I don't really need a lot of equipment, you know, I'm just using nature's equipment. But certain things that I would need specifically for baby is maybe like a bottle, and I probably won't get that immediately. I think I might even have one, but really with my daughter, who was exclusively breastfed, she didn't drink any formula, but I did work from when she was 6 months old. I was working full time, so she needed to be fed with a bottle. But we literally had like 1 or 2 bottles. You do not need a million. And there's always this thing where, you know, you're not sure which bottle the baby will take, and you'll try like 55,000 of them. But the thing is, if a baby is hungry enough, I don't really know if it matters what bottle it is. They will drink from it as long as they can physically suck the milk out of there. Because a breastfed baby who's exclusively breastfed from the mom is not going to prefer a bottle initially. Once they're established with breastfeeding with mom, the bottle just doesn't do it for them. You know, the mom is warm and soft and cuddly and talks to them, and the milk is perfect temperature and it's freely available at any moment. So they don't want a bottle. But the thing is, if you have to leave for considerable periods of time, they have to eat, and eventually they will eat. So I don't know if it's really so much the bottle that is the issue. It's more that they just don't want a bottle in general. So you might want to think about that, and I can definitely talk more about that if you need, because I was always told not to introduce a bottle too early, but the thing is, in my experience, you don't want to wait too long if you plan to use a bottle, which I think is helpful, because I think it's normal to have to leave your kid for an extended period of time occasionally, and for whoever is looking after them, you want it to be easy for them to feed the baby. So introducing a bottle 2 or 3 weeks in, just to like see how they do. They're less likely to protest when they're that little. So I like the Life Factory of bottles. That's what we've always used. But choose 1 or 2 bottles. The point being, don't go overboard, don't go by 60. Not necessary. Bathing. I actually have never had a baby bath for my child. Because of the house we live in, we have quite a big sink basin in our bathroom, so I would bath them in that. At one point I ordered a sponge. I had a sponge that I would lay the baby on, so it's like just a massive piece of sponge, super inexpensive, and that would just stop them from slipping everywhere, and then you could kind of lay them down on that and hold up their head, and then just kind of sponge bath them, literally bathe them, you know, when it's safe to do so. And we never used anything else major like that. I don't think it's necessary. I think if you were bathing twins or something, yeah, it would be good to have a safe place to put down that baby. But if it's just one baby that you can manage, I don't think you need to go and buy a baby bath. Also, they grow out of it. Hard plastic, that would cut you. It's just not good. So personally, I'm not going to purchase any of that. I might get a sponge. We'll see. The other thing is, I don't really think you need cloths and things. You can just use your hand, and you don't even really need soap for babies. I will probably use a little bit of just baby soap and shampoo for like their nether bits, just to clean them up. You know, you always want to wash their face first if they're in a bath, and then you wash their bottoms later, so that you're not putting bottom water on their face, if you know what I mean. So I really don't know if I'm going to use any kind of specific soap. I obviously have some shampoo and sort of child-friendly shampoo for my older kids, so I would just use some of that because it's just gentle soap. But you don't need to go crazy. You just don't want to buy anything super fragrant for baby. They have naturally protective and moisturized skin, so by adding extra things to them, it's actually doing them a disservice. Something that I didn't do a lot with the previous kids is like baby massage with lotion. So that might be something that I would look into as part of like their bedtime routine. My kids love it when I do it to them now. People do talk talk about that as being a really great way to calm the baby. And obviously, depending on the time of year that the baby is born, they might need a little bit of lotion here and there. If it's winter and there's a lot of heat that dries out your skin, that's something to consider. But at the moment, this baby is going to be born right in the beginning of summer, so I don't think we're going to need it. All right, clothes. Everybody's favorite category. Everybody's category that they go totally nuts and overboard on. So this is an area that I really think you can save a lot of money and angst by going simple. So what I would recommend as just a general guideline is no more than 5 of the same item for that age group. So let's break it down into practical terms. You need to look at what season is your baby being born in, because that is important, and how hot or how cold it is in the place they're going to be primarily. And then you need to look at, like, do you have a washing machine? And you know, how much space do you have to keep all of these outfits? This is like a personal choice, and obviously dressing babies up in cute clothes is so fun and take pictures, but if you're looking at like the bare bones of what you need, simple is better. So I would suggest like 5 onesies, maybe for, like, let's just talk about the 0 to 3, and it would work the same for the 3 to 6, the 6 to 12, whatever it is. 5 short-sleeved onesies, 5 long-sleeved pajamas, I would say, and then 1 pair of socks, maybe, if you have little pants for them. Not buy them shoes. I mean, again, if you want them for photo shoots, fine, but babies do not need shoes. I'm telling you now, they do not need shoes until they can walk. So it is not necessary to buy them any shoes, and it's just, it cracks me up when I see babies wearing shoes, because this is really just dressing up like a little doll. It's not necessary if you're trying to be very intentional about what you buy and you want to take a more minimalist approach. Obviously, go wild. It's not going to hurt them, but it's not necessary is all I'm saying. So I probably will have 1 or 2 hats, if even needed. My baby's gonna be born in summer, so I don't know if she's gonna need a hat. I've also realized that I've probably been making my babies too warm all of this time, because they do run a little hotter than the rest of us, than adults. And so I've probably been overdressing them. So I'm gonna just kind of keep it really minimal. And I have a washing machine, which, you know, is not a given in New York City. So I'm very grateful for that. And because it's summertime and we have a balcony, I would wash her clothes and just lay them out on the balcony. A quick hack is that if you have white baby clothes, which often like the onesies are, they obviously get stained from like breast milk and poop and all this kind of stuff. But if you lay them outside in the sun naturally bleaches them back to white again. It's pretty amazing. So definitely caution yourself, maximum of 5 of each thing, except for like socks, no shoes, a couple of hats maybe. And you know, people love to gift these kinds of things because they're so cute. So I don't know if I would even go ahead and buy them myself. If I was you, I would consider just buying very basic clothes for them. I mean, a baby doesn't even really need clothes. And then you'll probably find people will give you like a hat, or definitely blankets, which we're going to talk about next, and maybe other little cutesy things that are not necessary but very sweet to have. All right, let's talk blankets, people, because I had so many of them. People love to give blankets, especially when they don't know what to give. And so you do not need nearly as many blankets as you probably have or will get. Maximum 3, 5 max. You do not need them. I think like 2 swathing blankets is helpful. You can wash one and use another one, and then, you know, maybe a warmer blanket if it's cold and you want to put something on top. But usually strollers come with extra things, or my stroller has like a special little zip portion that will naturally keep the baby warm. As I said, I've probably been overheating my child this whole time. If they're dressed appropriately, they don't need a blanket. They can't really sleep with blankets on because it's a hazard for their face. So just be really cautious when you're buying blankets. I probably wouldn't get more than 2. Cleaning category. I don't know why I called it this, but like diapers and wipes and things like that. So with all of my children, so the 2, I have cloth diapered predominantly, let's just say, because I have used disposables for certain occasions like travel and when they're really small, and if we stay at someone else's house or whatever the case may be. But I typically cloth diaper, and I think it'll be easier for me this time around because this baby will be in summer, and so I can easily dry the cloth diapers on the balcony, and that way I don't have to buy a ton of disposables, which are obviously expensive, but more importantly, they are very wasteful. There's a lot of debate whether they're good for baby. You do get more natural organic brands. I really like the Natty brand, so that is something that I use if I'm going to buy disposables. So I'm not like hardcore only do cloth diaper ride or die, but I do try and do that, and I have a whole lot from my previous kids, so it makes sense that I would use them again. So I'm definitely going to try that. I usually don't do that for the first like a month maybe or 3 weeks, because I found the cloth diapers hard with like little babies, and I'm not using a cloth diapering service. I'm washing them myself, so that way I don't have the luxury of having all of these sizes that they grow out very quickly. I kind of have more that are adjustable. So if you want a video on cloth diapering and how I plan to do that, let me know. Then with wipes, I like just the water wipes are nice. If you want to use disposable wipes, I try alongside, especially when I'm at home, to just use a little reusable wipes. So like little, just they're almost like face cloths, but they're like little flannel things just to wipe baby and then throw them in the wash. No big deal. Might as well do that if you're going to wash cloth diapers anyway. So I would definitely do that, and obviously you're saving the environment. Like, we don't have paper towels, we use reusable rags and cloths, so it's kind of the same principle. Okay, so then the last category is baby equipment. I don't really know what else to call this. I think it's really personal, and again, only buy what you need when you need it. We really like using a carrier. For the first month or two of baby's life, I use a fabric carrier. And then when they get a bit older, I really liked the Ergo Baby. Someone gave that to us for our first child, and I've used it for both kids, and it's very robust, and you can use it up until the child is like 1 year old or even beyond that. So up until they're walking and even beyond that, I feel like it was a really robust, easy to use carrier, and my husband would use that a lot because it was none of this like fighting with fabric. It was like easy to clip in all the bits. It was like very self-explanatory. We kept it as like his settings, and we could easily put a child in there, and they like to be in there. So I would definitely recommend that. I think that's a very helpful thing, to have some kind of carrier. Now there are like a million of them, so look for ones that have nice wide straps, that are really easy to wash, that, you know, are made of good fabric. As I said, I really like the Ergo Baby, so I think any of those ones that you buy, you will be happy with. So definitely look into that. I think it's a good investment. Then obviously, if you have a car, or your child's going to go in a car, it needs a car seat. And what I didn't know when I first had a baby was like how it all worked with like infant car seat and then a convertible car seat and all this kind of stuff. My rule of thumb is you have the baby in what's called an infant car seat, which is the car seat you would use to bring the baby home from the hospital, you know, and that is usually, in my experience, up until the child is about 1 year old, maybe a little bit earlier than that, depending on your kid, and it has like removable inserts. So as the baby gets older and have better head control, you remove all of those things, but it's a very small car seat, but something that kind of keeps them nice and contained. And if it can fit on your stroller, that's great. If you have that kind of lifestyle, we didn't really need that because we didn't really, and initially we didn't even have a car, and even then when we got a car, we weren't using it on a regular basis. So my child never went in the car seat on the stroller. They were either in the bassinet or they went into the toddler seat of the stroller once they got older, because it would be such a mission for me to change the car seat to the stroller. It would just be a nightmare. So, but everybody's different. And then once they hit about 1 year old, you get them a what people would call like a convertible car seat, something that's a little bit bigger. And the convertible doesn't mean they go from infant car seat to toddler. It means that the car seat can go from forward facing to rear facing, or rear facing to forward facing. And that's what I understand a convertible car seat means. So let me know if I'm wrong down below, or whatever you understand. But yeah, you do need a car seat for a little baby. Something else that we kind of invested in, which we learned sort of the hard way around, was a baby monitor. So I do really like the baby monitor. We now have a Nest Cam one. It's connected to like our thermostat, and we can see the kids. They're older now, I don't really need it. It's fine for curiosity, and I might have given it away or sold it had we not had another baby. But now that we're gonna have a third one, I will use it again. And it's a really great system that I feel like is high quality. We had a baby monitor before that kind of broke after a while, so I think it's a nice thing to have. It's nice to be able to check on them, especially because I like to move them from my room around 2 months old, 2.5 months old, and so it is obviously helpful to see what's going on. But I would definitely consider getting a video one versus an audio one. I think a video one is just easier. I've tried an audio one before and it's fine, but the video one is obviously better, especially if it's on your phone and you can capture some cute videos on there too. And so the next thing I put on here was a pacifier. And you know what? I've done both. Our first child, we gave him a pacifier. We didn't for the second one. So I think it is a personal decision. Because it was my first baby, that's what I thought you did. We call them dummies in South Africa. And you know, that's what every child has, and I didn't want him to like suck his thumb, so I thought, okay, here's an option and anything to keep him sleeping for longer. And he loved this thing way too much, and we eventually took it away at 2 years old because I think the dentist told us to, and also just I prefer him not to have a pacifier, you know, past 2 years old. Personal choice. Even younger, I think, because it is like a sleep crutch, but it's just, he's not a baby anymore at 2, so I wanted him to not have to be reliant on it. But it was hard to take it away from him, and that was really heartbreaking. And so I said, for the next one, I'm not going to do a pacifier because that means I have to take it away. And so for my daughter, she did not have a pacifier. She was able to self-soothe a fair amount. I will say though that she really loved to breastfeed, and she'll probably still be breastfeeding if I allowed her to. And I think part of that might have been to do with the fact that she didn't have a pacifier. So that was when she was getting that self-soothing thing, was like breastfeeding. And obviously that is a lot to be the human pacifier. So I've done both. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this baby. I'm probably not going to try a pacifier, at least initially, and see if she can figure it out on her own. I don't think the pacifier is like the make or break. It's only if you make it the make or break. So I don't know. I just think breaking that habit was hard for a little baby, and I don't really want to go through that again, but I also want to sleep, so it's a tough one, you know? Catch 22. I think sleep might win, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. So those are my minimalist baby essentials. I can't believe that I had so much to say about these things, but I really want to save you money and time if you are looking to add things to your registry, or people are asking you what to get you for your baby. There's just so many things that I don't think you need. I'm also just thinking now, I didn't even mention like a diaper pail. I don't think you need that personally. You just need some kind of garbage can, and you should just be regularly emptying it out. Save yourself some money. I mean, there's just so many things that have been invented to make our lives easier, but then you have to get rid of them, and you have to pay for them, and you have to store them. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Please share it if you know someone that might need it and, you know, is about to have a baby or have a baby in the future, or is going to have baby number 2 or 3. It might be helpful for them to decide what is really necessary for a baby. Go ahead and subscribe, give this video a like, and make sure you click the notification bell. Check out all the free resources. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my channel, and it really means so much to me, and for watching. I can't even thank you enough, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.